Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Eric with Creative Metals again. I hope you guys checked out my last video of the shop tour that we did, and with that being said, I noticed there's a couple projects on my own equipment that I've been pushing off, and I think today we're going to get to one. So let's take a walk, see if we can see what we're going to be working on today. We're going to be working on a surface grinder today. Just a little cover, nothing major. It was something that I broke when I built this thing, or I built the stand to put it on, and I was wheeling it around my shop, and as you can see, there's a lift in here. Well, hold on. All right, guys, I got you turned around now. So here's the surface grinder. Here's that little cover I was telling you about. Yeah, it's just plastic. I broke that wheel and this thing around in my shop here, and it just snapped the top of it off, and I just kind of rigged it back together to keep the dust out of there. I had other things going at the time, but just kind of black taped and pieced the pieces back in. But we're gonna do something better today. We're gonna try and fix that up and make it look a little more professional. All right, guys, so I got that cover off of there now. You can see that's just a cover for that lead screw. When you turn that knob there, that handle, that lead screw goes up and down. And you can see in front there, there's a sight glass. It's kind of dirty, but oil flows through there. I'm just showing you this so you kind of get a gist of what this thing does and what its purpose does before we start getting into the build. Let me try and get you down in there. If you see that little nozzle right there, that pumps oil into them gears, and it just kind of waterfalls down onto the ways. I'm going to step back here, turn you guys off for a second. Now I'll turn it on. You can see how much oil flows out of there. It just trickles out of there, so it's not like a bunch of splash going on in there. Hang tight. All right, guys, I got it turned on now, and in a second here, you're gonna see the oil start just flowing out of there. There she comes right now. Now, that's really all the oil. It's not like it's splashing. It's not like the inside of an engine. It's pretty low pressure. I mean, this thing don't even have a gasket on it. So, but we're gonna make a new cover, something out of some metal, and I'll try and mix it up a little bit, make it look cool, and be a lot better than some plastic all taped up. All right, guys, so I got the cover off of it now. We're gonna take a little walk around here, get you back over to the workstation. If you notice my tour there, up there is where I keep all my scrap and stock and stuff I pillage from wherever I can get it. And lo and behold, I found some tubing up there that I think is gonna work. Look at there. Nice piece of stainless. So I think I got an idea in my head how I'm going to go about this. So we use that for the tube. And I had this piece laying around in the box. I know you got to ask yourself, why would you keep something like that? Well, I think today's going to be a perfect project for it. Here's the, you can see it's just plastic. I broke it, and it's just been kind of cobbled back together. But look at there. Fits on there almost perfect. So I'm thinking what we'll do is turn this down on the lathe a little bit, clean it up, bore a hole through the center of it, and transfer some holes through it. Maybe make the stainless tube over there a press fit, and so it doesn't look like Pinocchio's nose anymore. And maybe we'll make some kind of little bushing or something to press in the top of it, kind of dress it up a little bit, and we'll see what we come up with. Let's see what we can do. All right, guys, so I got this thing faced off on both sides here. Never mind them little peck marks you see there. This was a sacrificial piece that was in the old junk drawer. Them don't mean nothing. They're not going to be seen. We'll put them up on the top, and they'll be covered up anyway. So just, yeah, this is where we're at. I think next step is going to be to drill a hole through the center and make some kind of arbor up and turn the outside diameter down, and we'll go from there. Let's get to it. All right, guys, so this is where we're at. I made a little arbor on the back side here. This was just a 3/8 bolt that I cut down. I threaded this hole through the center, and I'm gonna put a jam nut on there. That way we can put this end here in the lathe and turn down this outside diameter a little bit. I got about 35 thou to turn down to match the base of Pinocchio there. So that's where we're at. Just wanted to catch you up, and yeah, I'll put a jam nut on there, get it in the lathe, get it turned down, and then we'll bore the center hole out for the tube. All right, everyone. So outside diameter is turned down to the diameter of the original cover, and I have to apologize. I'm using my phone here to do this, and instead of hit video, I hit camera, and it took a picture instead of videoing, turning the outside diameter down. But all we did was turn this outside diameter down and squish her down a little bit to match this one here. It's just a skosh bigger, not much. It's not a big deal. There's room up on top of the machine, so it's close enough for what it is. We'll take some transfer punches and transfer them marks and drill them out. Then we'll bore this center hole. I got an idea how I'm going to go about that, but again, don't worry about these marks. We'll put them down and put the tube on top, and it'll be good. All right, so we got some Dykem on the piece here. Getting it ready to transfer some punch marks for our holes. I know it's pretty basic for some people, but just for someone that may not have seen it before. So we'll just lay this on there and get her close. And we'll put our transfer punch through there and make some marks, and that'll be it. All right, well, we got some marks there. Now we know where we got to drill our 3 holes. I think before I do that, I'll probably bore that center hole out and figure out the exact approach I'm going to go on that. But that's where we're at. Keep going. All right, so we got our piece cut here, a piece of stainless steel tubing that I had laying around. It's pretty close to length. I'm gonna put it in here, face it off, get a nice square cut, probably polish it up a little bit while it's on the lathe. And after that, I don't know, I'm thinking about maybe turning this down just a little bit, give it a little shoulder to sit on when we push it in the top there. I'm still deciding on that. Oh, we'll see what we can do. got a nice straight edge. Trying to make it look nice. That's going to be good for what it is. All it is a cover. That's it. Now I'll part it off to length and we'll go on to our next step. All right, so this is where we're at. Got her polished up. I'm going to end up cutting this right here, parting it off with the parting tool. It's not too bad. It's got a couple little scratches in it, but like I said, it's just a cover. That's going to look a hell of a lot better than what was up there. Something I wanted to point out, someone asked me, why do you got to have two lathes? Why? Well, this diameter, this will not fit through the spindle of my south bend. The OD is a little too big, but not here. Look at there, by golly. If that was on my south bend, the farthest I'd be able to push it in is probably right about there. So it worked out good. Now I can, when I go to part this off, I can shove that all the way in there, nice and tight, so I make it nice and rigid when I go to part it off. So do I need two lathes? You betcha. All right, so this is where we're at. We got the tube cut, got it parted off to cut the length. We got her all polished up nice. That stainless come out really nice. We got our base. All we gotta do is just bore that out and drill our mounting holes. So I think what I'm gonna do here, and I know I could do this an easier way, but I'm just trying to be creative here. In the box here, you kind of see my dimensions. The wall thickness of the tubing is 0.65. The ID of it is 0.875. And I just happen to have that size bit. Thanks, Brian. You're the man. What I think I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little step, like you see there in my little crappy drawing. I'll put a little step on the tube. I'll turn it down a little bit, a little shoulder, if you will. And then I'll bore this out with the boring bar to that diameter, so that when the tube goes down in there, it'll have a little shoulder to sit on, and we'll do a little Loctite or something on there and call it a day. But I don't know. I think it's, well, it already looks better than Pinocchio. All right, let's see what happens. All right, so I got the piece in the chuck, got it slammed all the way back there, just so it fits nice and square instead of me trying to square it up on the edge here, just cheating a little bit there. All I'm gonna do is fire this thing up and run this 7/8 bit through there, and I know that gives me the ID I'm looking for, and we'll go from there. There we go. think that'll work. All right, so I got the boring bar set up. We're looking, the target number we're looking for is 0.963 on this hole here to accommodate the shoulder that we turned on it. So, we got about 50 thou to take off. So we'll get her close, try and sneak up on it and make it a nice tight fit so we can just press it in there with a little Loctite and call it good. There we go. See how we're looking. Let's see if we're getting close. Well, son of a bitch. Fuck. Well, guys, guess what? As you can imagine by my response when I went to fit it up, yep, I overshot it with the boring bar. Got a little overzealous there. I did exactly the opposite of what I told you I was going to do. I said I was going to sneak up on it and tried to go for it in one shot, and it bit me in the ass. So the shoulder idea, which, I mean, there's an alternative to this. So I had turned this down, remember, to put the shoulder on there. So I'm just going to part that off, and then that gives me a little thicker diameter tube. And then what I'll do is, it's not gonna quite be the press fit that I was looking for, but it'll definitely work with some Loctite. Just give me an idea where we're at here. I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at. So I'll just part that piece off that I turned the shoulder on, and we'll Loctite that up, and it'll work. It's just a cover. A little more aggravated with myself for getting a little overzealous with the boring bar there. I know better, but typically at this part of the day when that starts to happen, that means it's time to turn the lights off and go in. All right, everyone, so we're back at the mill here. I got this base mounted in the vise. You can see the marks that we transferred with the transfer punches. I hit them a little more with a regular punch just to make them a little more pronounced in the dicum there. And then I'm gonna show you how I got the coordinates for this on my DRO with this center finder, edge finder. I got the coordinates written down here for the digital readout. I already found them all just to make it easier and quicker for the video. But I'll show you how I did that, and then we'll just go through it. So this number here, this is our first hole. That's where we're at right now. I got that set on my digital readout at 0. And then when I go to my second hole, we'll call this one 2. I'll just move the X and Y over And I'll take that little pointer and center it up in that punch mark, and then we want them numbers to be up there. So I'll get you guys in position here. I'll show you how I did it, how I got them numbers. I'll do it one time, and then I'll go ahead and run my starter bit and my drill bit through, and that'll be the holes for our mounting base. All right, let me get you in position. All right, guys, I'm gonna fire the mill up here so you'll hear it running, and I'm gonna show you how I got these coordinates with this this center finder here, this edge finder. So hopefully you guys can see this on the camera. I'll try and speak up a little bit so you can hear it. If you notice this thing, see how it kind of wobbles around there? Well, what we're trying to do is true that up in that punch mark. You can kind of see how it's wiggling just a little bit. If I bring this down, it'll true it right up. See how it straightens right up? But if I pull away, get a little wobble, trues up. Now let me show you what happens if I move one of my axes. See how it moves away? So you're just kind of eyeballing that up, getting that to where it looks like it's one piece again. And that's where you want to be. So I'm a little too far there. Right there, that looks pretty good. And that puts us right back on our numbers. Wobbling, straightens it right up. So I know I'm right on my punch mark. And that's what I did for all three holes, or all three center marks, and that's how I got all them coordinates. So now that I have them, I can take this bit out, I'll put my starter bit in, drill it, and just repeat that for the other three processes. So let me swap it out here and we'll get her going. All right, here we go, first hole. You can see we got a nice starter hole there. And that's it for hole one. Now we'll go over to the coordinates of hole two. Let me get this bit out of the way first. I'll do this second one and then I'll turn you guys off so you ain't gotta get bored watching all this. So now I'm gonna go over to my second coordinates on the digital readout. That's why I did this ahead of time, so I didn't have to take so much time. I'll bring this down closer just so you guys get an idea. And that's what I had for my coordinates is when I checked it before, so I know I'm right there. So we'll do it again. All right, I'm gonna finish up this third hole and I'll show you the end product here, see where we're at. All right, so we got all three holes drilled. I was just trying not to bore you guys with all three of them, but I just want to give you an idea how I found them locations after I punched them. Hey, I want to point something out, just So you notice I was cautious to make sure I didn't drill into my vise when I located this thing and put it on the vise. Just something to keep in mind. All right, let's take it over and compare it to the old one and see if our holes line up. See what it looks like. Let's see how we did. Look at there. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. Another one. It's hard for me to get my phone right above it, but yeah, we're good. Hey guys, I brought you back over to the mill here. I just wanted to point something out real quick. When you guys seen me drilling them holes, and this was my fault, so if you guys follow my channel, I'm going to show you my faults. I'm not ashamed to show you, and maybe you'll learn from it. You'll notice when I drilled this hole that was over here, I got this loose in here right now. But the plate actually moved a little bit, this hole over here. So when I came out to this side, it rocked a little bit. That's because we got minimal grip here, you know, holding this. And I didn't get too crazy with it, tightening up the vise. But you could, you know, you want to get in the habit of supporting this under here when you got it. Because I seen it go down a little bit when I was drilling it. It's a pretty small hole. I knew I was going to be okay, so I just went ahead with it. But you'd want to take a, you know, a vise jack like that of some nature, or a 1-2-3 block, maybe slide a 1-2-3 block under there and shim it up, you know, just something to support it. Put a sacrificial piece of aluminum or wood or something under there. But I just want to point that out because I know you can see it in the video, and I'm sure someone's going to point it out, but I'm not afraid to point it out. It was an error on my side, and like I said, I seen it when it was happening, but I knew it was a very small hole. I wasn't putting a ton of pressure on it, and I knew I'd get away with it. So I just wanted to point that out. It's a mental note. Maybe put it in your memory bank for a project you're getting into before you get yourself in a bind. All right, moving on. All right, guys, so we're here. We're nearing the end of the road of this project here. Now we got to come up with something to fill this hole in the top. So what I'm thinking, I got this brass round stock here. I don't know, I think I'll just make some kind of little bushing, and I'll see if I can not mess this one up and get her down a diameter, make it a little press fit, tight fit, and we'll just stick her down in there and make something nice, and just chamfer the ends or something and make her look kind of cool. I want to point something out here again. I know I did this a little earlier in the video. I want to show you guys something. This is my south bend. This is what I was using for all my projects. Look at the dilemma we run into. That's as far as I can stick that in there. Remember we talked about this before? Now if I go over to my closing, get the idea? And the reason that's kind of a big deal is because if we go back over here, this is what you'd end up with, these little nubs, these little cutoffs, just enough to hold it in the jaws of the south bend, and then you end up cutting your work off, and then now you got this little piece left over, or what the hell are you supposed to do with it? That's how you get a drawer full of little pieces. So it's nice being able to shove that whole piece of round stock in the chuck and, you know, do what you got to do with it. Make your piece, whatever it is, just cut it, and now you still have this big long piece. You don't have this little piece holding in here and having all that waste. So it's just another reason to have a bigger vise in the shop, and or a bigger lathe, and, you know, other than bigger work, obviously, but yeah. So part of the reason why there's two lathes in the shop, you don't go into a woodworker shop and see just one table saw, do you? No, he's got about 5 different saws in there, and that's because there's 5 different reasons for it. So all right, here we go. All right, so we're back over at the lathe here. I got this thing all chucked up, got it faced off. Just want to give you guys a little rundown of what I'm going to do here. Disregard these 2 lines here. I forgot we got to turn this down to outer diameter first. So I'm going to turn all this down into this line right here to our, whatever that number was, 0.998 right there. So we got a difference of 122 thou. So I'll get that turned down, and then I'll re-blue it with the Dicom, and then we will we'll turn it down to, we'll turn a little step down to this number. Let's see where we're at here. A little more, looking for 0.998. Pretty gosh darn close. I can live with that. All right, guys, we're at 884, 885. It's about our 15 thou. See how we're looking. Ooh, baby, look at there. That's what we're talking about. That's the fit we were looking for with the boring bar. But we're past that now, things happen. So that's perfect. I like that. Nice tight fit. Yeah, that's beautiful. That'll be our cap. Let me grab you guys so you can see what's going on here. All right. So we got a nice tight fit. Now what we'll do is we'll part this off right here, and we'll take it over to the south bend, and we'll shape it up a little bit, and that'll be it for our cap. See what it looks like. All right, guys, so we're up and running. I got the parting tool in there. Just gonna part this thing off, and we'll get her finished up. Guys, we got our piece parted off. I'm guessing it's warm. No, it's not too bad. So there's going to be our cap. We'll get her cleaned up and she'll be good. But just to show you something. Remember what we were talking about earlier about having them little nubs left over? Well, look at it. No little piece. Now I still got a full bar. I don't have this little cutoff to throw in the drawer that I can't do nothing with. So that's it. We're looking good. All right, so I got her chucked up in the south bend here, my girl. We're gonna face this thing off, get rid of that little nib on there, put a nice face on it, maybe chamfer it a little bit, and we'll clean her up a little bit, and that's gonna be about it. This piece will be done. I apologize if there's a little bit of vibration. I got the camera mounted right on the lathe itself because it's just the most convenient spot. So, south bend runs pretty smooth. It probably shouldn't be too bad, but here we go. Throw a little chamfer on there so we ain't got a sharp edge. God, what a difference running this machine compared to that closing. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. All right, see what it looks like. Well, it's hard to see. A little chamfer on there. Oh, we'll clean it up with some steel wool a little bit and see what it looks like. All right, guys, so we're at that point. We're at that stage of the game here. We're on the tail end of it. So here's the brass cap after I cleaned it up, got the dicom off, hit it with a little steel wool. Not too shabby. So here, check this out. So this is the fit we were looking for with the base, but it is what it is at this point. How nice is that, huh? Let me put it in the base. I got the dicom off of that. That's what our finished product's gonna look like. Not too shabby. Got a spare parts laying around the shop, huh? I like it. Don't look too bad at all. I don't know. You think it's better than Pinocchio? So I think what I'm gonna do, I may hit that base with a little clear coat just because I kind of like that finish. The stainless, obviously I ain't gotta do nothing with that because that ain't gonna rust, but that bottom piece is just steel, so I'll hit that with a little clear coat. We'll throw a little Loctite in there and let that thing cure overnight, and we'll be able to throw her on. And we can really see what it looks like on the machine. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you the setup I had here for filming on the South Bend. I told you I apologize for the vibration. Well, this was my camera mount here. I had to mount it to the tailstock. I just working with what I got here. But that's so that you guys could get a view of what was taking place there. So that's why there was a little vibration in that short little video there, trimming up the cap piece. But that's all. I just wanted you to see what was going on there. I was working with what I had there. All right, well, looks like we're done, guys. Loctite's all cured up, let it set overnight. Clear coated the base. Ain't got to worry about that rusting up. There's a little close up of our cap we made. Didn't come out too bad. This was all stuff I just had laying around the shop here. Well, let me go set it up on top of the machine, see what it looks like. Yeah, well, there you have it. There's the finished product. Just to show you the bolts all lined up, or the screws rather. Not a bad little fix. Better than what was up there. All right, guys, you get it. Well, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.